everyone? How's it going? There's the old Focus looking all nice and clean. It's all sitting there lovely. It's just waiting for its MOT now. It's completely done. Just waiting for the old MOT. Don't know what happened to the old lights there. They went a bit creamy coloured, didn't they? Got the boat sitting here, MG over there. But today's plan is to get the boat out, get the Focus out, cover up other bits and pieces that I need to, and get onto this Peugeot. Need to get this all in primer, and then get some paint and lacquer and stuff like that all mixed up and sorted. Get this all painted, and then give it a day or so to set and stuff like that. Sand it all back, buff it all in, blend it all into the existing paintwork, and then hopefully that'll sort of be the end of that one. I've got to do the wheels. Well, I've done one, I've done the front wheel, which you'll see down here, all nice and sprayed up and all looking absolutely lovely. Just got to put the centre cap back in. Just haven't decided what colour to do them yet. And then I've got to do the rest now so they all match that front one. Okay, so let's get this boat and Focus out of the way. Got the keys lying here somewhere in my pot, I think. Get the doors open. And let's have a look and see what we've got to do on this bodywork. Got a lovely hot sunny day out there today. It's quite windy, but otherwise all good. It should start okay. That's all up and running and ready to go. So according to the old gauge, we've got 17. So not bad in temperature wise. Lovely, it's on the button now. Do sound quite nice with that old intake and that on it. That should do. I should better get the boat in front of that. Hopefully the old seagulls won't attack it and end up putting birds muck all over it. Looks good outside out in the sun. Move the old boat. Got plans of taking this boat out soon. It's literally stayed pumped up for, don't know now, probably 2 or 3 weeks. So even though it's got a couple of punches around the sides of it, they don't go down. So that's awesome. Got an engine sitting over there to go on the back. Got an 8 horsepower Mercury, but also got a 9.9 down there, which I could upgrade to a 15 just with a carburetor swap. But we'll look at that now. We'll take it out really and do a bit of fishing, have a little spin in it, see what it's like, see if that's one we want to keep or one we want to move on. Should do just there. And we've got to decide which angle to get this Peugeot at to work on it. That really wants a good old wash, but the steam cleaner hose has burst again. The brand new hose lasted about 5 washes. But I went to take it back and they basically said they don't cover things like that, they don't cover hoses, so I don't recommend going to car show in the Lowestoft. So we've got to sort out this side, mask up all the lines, mask up all the paintwork. We don't want to scratch or put any paint or overspray on, and go from there. So I'll get on with that and then let you have a little look later on. So what I'm going to do here first is just give it a wipe down with some panel wipe and degreaser type stuff. just around the areas that I want to mask up, so when I put the masking paint and stuff on, it does actually stick, and we don't get overspray where we don't want it. Still got some to stand just here. Probably get this light out of my way or mask this light up. And then we've just got to mask off this bumper. It's a tiny little mark in the bottom there, but I'm not sure if I'm going to worry about it now. More of a case of just getting it, everything all prepped and covering up some of this bare metal we got. I'm just going to get all this dirt off the bottom of this door so we don't end up with any of it in the paint, and then I'll change this cloth. I'd say really get one to wash, but I cannot do that right this minute because, like I say, the old steam cleaner hoses burst. I think you get the idea, so I'll carry on with that. Get masking up. And let's see how we can get on with this one today. Wipe down all these areas while you're doing that dust coming out of your paint. So as you can probably see, I'm sanding away on this quarter. Been a bit of a nightmare. I had to take the light out, which I've done, and I've sort of propped up the boot and masked on the side of the boot so I don't scratch any of it. I need to put a bit more on there by the looks of it. Yep, cheers compressor. Always try and speak over me, damn it. But yes, it's been a right pain. It's not sounding like normal paint, it's coming off like cement. So whoever done it, not too good. I'm just lifting this up here so I can get to the edge of there, and then I'm going to come to about here, which is where it's been blended before. Should remove all this old paint that the old chap had to go out doing in his back garden. And yeah, lovely. What he done is he painted it with rattle cans, and then he creosoted his fence next to it, and that went all over it, and that just done a hell of a reaction with the paint and the creosote from the fence. That just looked a pig, yeah. Hence why I'm having to go start back, right back to bare metal and stuff like that. But as you can see, we've got bare metal, and we've got base primers, and then we've got a matte black. So we're clearly going to have to put a matte black on before we start spraying the blues. So that's going to be fun. So we've got to go primer, black, blue to green pearl, which is what this colour this car is on this car. It's going to be a pain to match because pearls always are, but I'm pretty sure I can get it done. I've done a lot worse. I've done like 5 colour flip paints and stuff before, so I'm sure I can do this one. Right, I'm going to have a quick hot chocolate and then I'm going to carry on. Whew, okay, so it's been a few hours now, and I've sanded that whole panel into the door, right down into the sill, and then I've gone through all the grades from, I don't think what I've done now, 120, then 320, then 500, I think I've done. Pretty much, yeah, that's what I've done. So I'll spin you around and sort of show you where we are. I've just filled one of the dents between the door and the arch. I've just got to shape that up now, and then hopefully it's time to mask it all up and get some primer on it. But I've got to whip out to Norwich now and grab the paints and stuff, because obviously the bank holiday's coming up and I won't be able to get anything if not until middle of next week, which isn't no good. We want to get this done. So I'll spin you around and show you where we are. So yeah, as you can see, look, we're all blended right up into the top there. No horrible paint left, just normal factory paint now. Blended all the way down that quarter, took the light out, done all the way around down the edge of the boot, met with the bumper, had to mask that all up and very gently do down the side of that with the flat sander there. And we've then come down into the door, been all around the door, up under the door handle, round the actual handle, round all the trim, along the bottom into the sill, then all the way along the sill to where we're going to blend. And then as I've just literally just put this filler in, and I've just got to blend this area here, get that all nice and smooth. And then I think we're actually ready, which is nice because it took a long time. That paint was really, really nasty. The reaction that had, don't know what it done, but that made it go really horrible. Normally I could sand them 2 panels, you know, sort of hour and a half, with a little bit of prep work as well, you know, a little bit of filler here and there. It wouldn't take too long, but it probably took 4 hours to do that all together, I reckon. It's just so hard to get off, and I was using 80. I daren't go to 40 because I didn't want to start scratching up the metal too much. But there we go, and we got through it. Just one of them jobs. Some of them come in like this and they're nice to do. Others come in and they're a right pig, like this one. So I've just removed the mirror, which I've got sitting here. I'm going to take out with me because I want to get a colour match. I want the colour match to be good. Now, when you take it outside and it goes in the sun, I don't know if you're better see it on camera, but that goes from a blue into like a greeny colour. That's pretty hard with all the reflections and stuff. It's pretty hard to show, but they'll be able to see it and they'll be able to match it up in the book and hopefully give me the right colour. So as you probably saw in the previous clip, started shaping all this arch. It's quite nice so far, but we've still got a raised edge at the top here. So we've got to keep skimming until we get everything nice and flat. Looking better already. sometimes I just, because there was quite a large groove in there where I'd obviously caught the edge of this door and that arch pushed it in on a post or something like that. Sometimes the middle bit don't fill up as well as the outside, so you have to just keep doing it a few times, like I'm doing here, until you get the shape you want. Definitely looking better this time. What I'll do once I've got this to the final shape, I'll then put some very light filler on top of that, which gets rid of all the little pinholes and the sand and scratches, and then we move on. Okay, so I've reshaped the arch for the second fill. It's all starting to look pretty good now. And they're going to put the final filler stuff on. This side's all done. Feels pretty nice. I'm just going to blend across here, down through the arch and down through the bottom here. Just blend that whole bit in. And it should get rid of that repair. So what we're using is this one here today. It's a U-Pole Dolphin Glaze it's called. It's just a liquid like that. You put in a little drop of hardener. I'll try and show you. Got the camera in one hand and I'll try and do it with my left hand. Literally just put a little drop of hardener in like that. I'll see if I can swap hands, and you basically just get your spreader and start mixing. Because this isn't connected to the board, I'm not going to be able to mix that and show you, but I'll mix it up and I'll bring it back and show you what it'll look like. So that's pretty much what you end up with. You have to work in all the red hardener, and you take it over to the car and put it in, which we'll go and do now. Back, no dent or anything in the middle there, no step on either end, just blending it all in so it looks like a piece of metal like this that's not been touched. Got a tiny bit left, which I'll just skim over this with, just give it a bit of fresh coverage. Pretty good. Should be able to flatten that all back. That gets rid of all the reaction-y stuff, all the paint's gone. The back end of the metal, the factory primers, and then the base black. We're looking pretty good. So I'll give this an hour or so to go off, maybe less. We'll have to see how long it takes. It's an okay day, that's not hot, that's not cold, it's sort of 15 degrees. So hopefully I'll get off fairly quick. so we're all masked up, as you can see. Now it's a case of blasting everything, get it all nice and clean. I'll probably do this 3 or 4 times just to get it all nice and fresh. You don't want no dust, you don't want nothing. If you get it dirty like that, just literally turn it inside out. Give yourself a nice fresh bit again. Last thing you want to do is start rubbing dirt and stuff around the panels. Make sure I don't need to do any work inside that handle. Feels good. One thing I forgot about is this little dent here. I might do that. There we're going this far. I had actually forgot all about that. I might have to just pop and do that off camera. Or do we just leave it and build up with some primer? It's only going to be small. I might be able to actually build that up with some primer. I think that's what we'll do. It looks more authentic if you've got a tiny little ding in the door, and then it'll be a mint. There's a couple of small ones around the car. There's a tiny one up on the roof up there. And just having the odd little mark just makes it look more original, to be fair. Oh, right. I'll leave it to flash off for probably 10-15 minutes. Make sure that all soaks in and disappears, and I'll probably do it again. I'm going to get the old hoover out on the floor down there and get rid of all that sand and dust. Make sure there's nothing sort of around the edges or anything anywhere else going to flick up a load of dust. And hopefully we're at that point where we can get some primer on. So I've done a third coat off camera. You've seen me do 2 now. So I've now got 3 thick coats on there. Well, I say 2 thick coats and 1 thin one to start with. Got a couple of runs, but I put it on thick on purpose in the repair areas. And that's obviously got to be sanded back and flattened down, ready for me to put the black on next. I'm going to call it a night now. Go home and have some dinner and stuff. I'll leave everything as it is and I'll come in tomorrow. Hopefully this will be hard by tomorrow evening. And I'll be able to give it a good old sand back. And then we'll go from there. What I'm going to have to do is in this pipeline, between this compressor and my gun and stuff, I'm going to have to just set a filter or something somewhere to stop oil and water and stuff coming through, because I'm getting bits and pieces coming through onto this primer, which is no good. Obviously they'll sand out, but it's no good when you put the blue on and the pearls and the lacquer, because you can't sand that out afterwards. Right, so I'll see you in the morning. Morning guys, hope you're all good. So let's hope we can get some matte black on the old Peugeot today, get this middle coat done. Obviously when I first get in, got to sand it down, get everything flat. I've then got to put a water oil type trap system up from my previous spray bay from the other garage, just to stop any bits and pieces coming through the compressor. And then we'll see how we get on. But as you can see, it's flooding out here again. Rainy day, it's been raining all day yesterday and all last night. It's pretty much non-stop. Looks like it's all flooding up here again. So we're in the garage, and this is what it's looking like after a night of settling down and going hard. It's rock solid. Got a few little runs. Let's say there, I put it on heavy in here just to flatten that all out and get a coat on this plastic. But otherwise, the nice repair where we done the arch and everything is spot on. You can't see nothing there whatsoever, so that will all sand nicely. All the rear quarters nice. It's all looking good. So I'm just gonna whack the old heater on, the big one. Gonna get some heat going around the place. Make myself a hot chocolate, get warmed up a little bit, and then we're gonna start sanding this back. Okay, so all sanded down. Took an hour or so. Got rid of all the little runs and stuff we had on the bits we built up around the repairs and stuff like that. Gone through in a couple of places, as you can see, and we've got a couple of bits of bad metal. So what we're gonna do is whack a bit of etch primer on them, because we don't want them to react when we put the top coats on. Pretty much as simple as that. Just don't want any bare metal, you want it all to be primed nicely. I'll let that all go off now. Leave it alone for a little while, let it all settle down. There'll still be like vapours coming out from when we sprayed it yesterday, when we actually put the primer on. So we'll let that all settle down nicely, and I'm going to start rigging up some pipe work, some filters and stuff like that, and I'll show you all that once I've got it all up. Okay, so I've been messing about with pipes and filters and stuff for a little while now. It's only a temporary setup, but basically we come out of the compressor, up along here, into this big old dropout filter, crossed here, into an oil separator, oscillation filter, and a breathing filter. Basically gets rid of oil, moisture, and any particles coming through the hoses. Now they're not cheap. I think them 3 there and this one here was about £900, but I will tell you, they'll make such a difference in your spraying. You get no horrible little bits everywhere. no water and moisture will come through and mess up your paint job that you've spent hundreds and hundreds on buying paint, and you'll get much better finishes. So if you can afford to get the old traps and stuff, definitely worthwhile. Oh no! Gonna have to sort that out. Otherwise, they can really notice. Okay, so I'm just sort of finishing off flattening off all the black. I've done that 3 or 4 times now. This is a bit of 2000 sandpaper. flattens off everything, gets rid of any dust, etc. The more I do this, the flatter that'll get, and then the better the blues and the pearls and that will lay down on the next coat. Looking pretty good. So I've done that a few times already, so it's quite easy on the last couple of times. The first one's a bit rough. So hopefully it's all nice and flat. Looking pretty good. Nice. Obviously I've got to get that very, very dry now and have no water inside all the little seams under any rubbers or anywhere it can blow out while I'm spraying. So that's what it's like close up. We've got a nice matte black, which is exactly what we need. Exactly what they would have done factory. That should turn our colours over, make them turn out to be exactly the same colour as the rest of the car. Hopefully all that colour blue. And then go to a green out in the sunshine. Whew, it's a lot of effort, a lot of messing around, but the only way to do it right and get it nice. Okay, so let's get some top coat on. Okay, so we got 4 coats of lacquer on, and here's the results. So, pretty happy with how it's come out. It's all nice and shiny, nice and glossy, looking really good. It's obviously going to take 24 hours or so to dry off now. And then that'll be a case of flattening it all down. There's a couple of tiny bits of dust in it, and I mean minute, tiny little things most people will leave, but you know me, I won't. I'll flatten the whole lot down, give it a good buff, blend it into the existing paintwork, and probably buff the whole car. But not too bad, seeing we had to use the little tiny compressor. Anyone new to the channel, I'll just quickly spin around and show you what I mean. I've had to use a little tiny compressor instead of my massive great thing in the corner because it's broken at the moment. So I'll quickly show you what's what, just so you understand what I'm saying and how I actually managed to spray that with a tiny little compressor. So yeah, anyone new to the channel, that's normally my beast with a big old 700 litre tank. Massive 18.5 horsepower engine, and yeah, it does all my air normally, but this big old motor at the moment is broken and we're struggling to get someone to fix it, and it's going to be serious money. So I've been using this little tiny thing down here at the moment, which is my little tyre compressor, and unbelievably somehow I managed to get that, this filter and these filters all to run and get that sort of result. And don't get me wrong, with the bigger compressor that would have been a much easier job and wouldn't have been nowhere near as hard, but I mean, it's pretty safe to say that's passable for most people, and they just leave it like that, to be fair, and put the light in and away you go. But I like to blend everything in. I want the rest of the car to shine as good as that now, so that's where I'm going to be next. I'll leave it till tomorrow and I'll unmask everything because we don't want to obviously get dust and stuff all over when we start pulling things off. But yeah, quite happy, not bad at all. Well, I couldn't resist having a little look. I wanted to know how good the colour match was, and I've just split the bag on this other door, and I think they're looking pretty good. Obviously this paintwork on this side is mega shiny compared to this, but I will make that nice and shiny and flatten that whole lot down, probably flatten the whole car down, and this will look awesome. Nice. Oh, so I'm back in the car. There's not really much I can do now I've done that. Just reversing out and get myself out. Quite proud of what I've done there, to be fair. God, I've got all the red lines on my face from the mask. Yeah, I'm quite proud of that, because how we made that work with that little compressor and all them filters on it and everything, and got results like that, I don't know. But when sometimes you got to do something and do it right, just made it work. Not something I'd want to do all the time. I definitely want the other one up and running again, but yeah, I made it work. It's pretty shiny, it's quite nice. I'm looking forward to seeing it tomorrow night once it's all settled down and it's ready to be sanded back.